Supporting the cancer group, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Mr. MichaelBack. Michael!
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Kerry, for those really kind words. It's a great reflection seeing Kerry come through her journey over many years and to see the progress of the bravery and to come out and step up here tonight. Last night I was trying to work out what I would say today. And I thought, why don't we talk about cricket? Now, there's a bit of stimulus to this because part of the association, Kerry's brother was a pretty ordinary left-arm bowler in my cricket side. Lara Scolari, who's donated the artwork, is a great supporter of this event and also the brain cancer group. Her husband was pretty ordinary, but that's still in my side as well. And I guess I spent a lot of time out on a field playing cricket. So I thought, why don't we talk about it? And then the member of Benelong's here. I know the member of Benelong is a great cricket supporter. Oh, that's the old one. That's a bit of a dad joke. Now that's me.
Right.
I've been wanting for years to put up that slide in one of my talks. I just can't do it. But I thought tonight, let's do it. And let's talk about cricket. Now, one of the things about cricket is you spend a lot of time on your own standing around doing nothing. In the hot sun, where you need to try to concentrate. But one of the great things to reflect as a future cancer researcher is that it allows you to reflect. It allows you to stop, get the distractions of other things away, and explore your mind and explore those thoughts that might come through. And you also try to look at patterns and get advice from people from around the field. So it's like a multidisciplinary technique. Maybe someone giving advice from one end, another person giving advice from another end. Now, I was fortunate to play cricket with a whole lot of these guys who were very good players. I didn't play in this side. This is the 1985 New South Wales Cricket Association's under-19s series. And there were two guys situated there. Guy on my left, Gavin Robertson. On his side, Peter McLean. And they were two players that spent a lot of time together. Gavin bowled right arm off spin. Peter McLean would bowl left arm off spin. They'd be at one end and at the other end. They were courageous, they were aggressive, and they were very successful in what they did. They then went on a tour together as part of the Australian under-19 team in 1985. And then Gavin, once again, on the left, bowling his right arm, and Peter McLean on the other side, bowling his left arm. And those two spent a lot of time together. 35 years on, something happened. In 2019, Gavin was diagnosed with a glioblastoma in his left temporal lobe. And it was that bad scenario that Kerry mentioned. In 2021, Peter McLean was diagnosed with a glioblastoma in his right temporal lobe, the other side. So these two guys involved, one end right arm, one end left arm, played together, spent a lot of time together, toured together, shared life together. Both were diagnosed with that glioblastoma. We don't know why that was the case, but these things happen. We know that through Kerry's journey, through Matt's journey, Evan's journey, that people get these illnesses and we don't know why. Going forward to the future. Pete, on the right side, passed away at 16 months after diagnosis. He was a father of 3 kids, a policeman, and obviously a great contributor through family and through society, to life and his network and his community. Gavin on the other side, 2019, we saw him on Monday, and he remains progression-free with no relapse of his cancer, now in his 8th year. Gavin reflects a lot about Pete. Pete's name was Scotland. I saw his name on the cricket, and he always reflects at Skylabs, looking over him and looking all over all of us as we're mounting down. But those things raise a question. Why should one guy, who's essentially the same pedigree, the same lifestyle, growing up in a very similar way, die from a cancer with a safe cancer after 16 months, whereas the other guy is alive but progression-free or free of relapse after 8 years? And that's what we're trying to explore. We don't have the answer for these things. But just like a lot of things in life, there are patterns, and we've got to try and find those patterns. Part of what we're doing at the Brain Cancer Group is trying to explore the differences in each of these illnesses. A diagnosis of glioblastoma is not a diagnosis of glioblastoma that's uniform across everyone. A diagnosis of glioblastoma varies. It's a different shape, it's a different size, it's a different site in the brain, it connects differently. It has different molecular features, even though under the microscope, both of those tumours will look exactly the same. Part of what we have to do is to reflect back at every person's journey and try to work out what is different in that person to achieve that endpoint and what's different in that other person to get that endpoint. Now, New South Wales Health can't do that. We don't have the resources. We're there to treat people, manage people, and get people down the pathway as best as possible. But what we're trying to do in the Brain Cancer Group, and it really doesn't come through New South Wales Health, the federal government's been great. As Barbara mentioned earlier, the federal government has contributed a grant of $6 million to the New South Wales and Australian brain cancer community to try to explore this question further. Richard Scollier was a great example of pushing hard for that donation to make it work, to try to get more of these understandings of what goes on between different people, different tumours, with different endpoints. In the Brain Cancer Group, your donations tonight, your contribution to being here tonight, and your support inspires us to be able to do those things further, so that we can take the things we do basically in the clinic and not shut it up when we stop managing a patient that is that farm-better radiotherapy, that last set of chemotherapy, but to continue to get that information and explore that further to try to get those answers. We've established a data bank which reflects on all the different characteristics of patients, looking at their biology through a tumour bank. And more recently, which is quite exciting because it's down where I'm interested in, is looking at an imaging laboratory which is trying to find how all these tumours interact differently in the brain, connect differently, and maybe get the realization of why one person like Gavin's tumour remains progression-free at 8 years, whereas Pete's one, unfortunately, they come out of it. I thank you all for contributing tonight and continuing on this awareness of this terrible illness. They're not all terrible illnesses. Some of them have much favourable outcomes, but those patients really need support to be able to reintegrate back into society and keep free of the effects of what the tumour has done, and that's a lot of treatments are. And that's where the support comes in from that we try to organise with the Brain Cancer Group. So it's not just research, it's the support that Kerry mentioned. It's also education, trying to get an awareness out there so that this is accepted more in society and we keep people managing waste. I thank you all for your support once again, and Kerry, we'll keep on going strong. Thank you.
Everybody, Mr. MichaelBack. Assistant Professor